The stocks in the US continue to go down, and the Bank of America says that the UK is the sick man of Europe. European stock also continues to go down as Europe's admit they are into a mild recession. Bitcoin mining is hitting water at the Bathhouse in New York, and George Soros is buying Vice Media. Circle and Sequoia may be the greatest depositors at Silicon Valley Bank, and Zelensky urges other countries to act because he believes Ukraine may be under a nuclear threat. These are the things we're going to be discussing today. Hi, my name is Boof and welcome to Crypto Vagabonds YouTube channel. In this channel we talk about cryptocurrencies, geopolitics, macrofinance, and everything else that may affect the performance of your favorite crypto asset. If you do like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Now, let's get into the video of today. And as usual, we're going to begin with Bloomberg. However, I want you guys to please stick around because I'm going to really talk about the situation between Ukraine and Russia and how that may be nuclear. Here, the main headlines in Bloomberg is the stock slide as investors seek safety on bonds. And I have already talked about this with you guys. But here's, I just want to play a little bit of this article on Bloomberg so you can show you what Sarah Bonzak is saying about the market.
So if you're a long-term investor, well, sure, in the near term, there's absolutely reason to be cautious. You have to make sure that you're not losing sight of the long-term picture. And if you have this longer time horizon here and you're sitting on the sidelines, it might not pay to do so because as we all know, if you're on the sidelines, there's really never a perfect time to get back into the market.
So as she's saying, if you are on the short term, you should be cautious. Of course, if you're a long-term holder, that is not a big problem to you. So let's see here, stocks in Europe is also coming down. It's already coming down for the fifth day. European stocks cap at the fifth day of losses. Siemens Energy plunges. So Europe is already admittedly on a mild recession. That's what I want to share with you guys. And Fortress-led group is set to acquire Vice the media company, out of bankruptcy. Now, Fortress-led group doesn't really bring much attention, but let's look at here. Bankrupt media company Vice Group Holding Incorporated won the court approval to sell its main business to a group of its lenders led by Fortress Investment Group, Soros Fund Management, and Moron Capital in a transaction worth roughly 350 million. So George Soros is behind that one. Now I'm going to go into the crypto and then I'm going to talk about Ukraine situation, a possible nuclear threat. So let's go over cryptocurrencies first. And what I want to share with you guys is here. If someone is using an idea which I had myself before, to use Bitcoin mining to heat water in Brooklyn Bathhouse. And the users, of course, are in shock that it is profitable, or at least seems to be profitable, to mine BTC in New York. They're using miner equipment that produce a byproduct heat to heat the water of this bathhouse. So these are the ways in which Bitcoin mining can be sustainable and can provide a byproduct of heat which can be used to heat your home, and in this case to heat the water of a bathhouse. Now Circle and Sequoia were among the top depositors at Silicon Valley Bank. And what happened is the FDIC normally should insure only up to $250,000. However, Circle was reported to have held 3.3 billion in deposits, while Sequoia had roughly 1 billion. That's way above the FDIC limit, but they have changed the rules and now the FDIC is insuring up to 3.3 billion. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think they're going to be able to do this for much longer. The FDIC will run out on funds, and of course then the Federal Reserve will pick the tab. And this is a topic that I want to talk for a long time here, but you see here, Ukraine's Zelensky urges other countries to act before Russia attacks a nuclear plant. From the beginning of this conflict, and I've been talking about this conflict for a while, believe it or not, since 2018, I'm expecting this conflict to happen. And from the beginning, I'm saying that this conflict may become nuclear. And there's many ways in which this can go nuclear, but let's hear what Zelensky is talking here, and then I'm going to say to you guys what my view on this is. So Ukraine wants other countries to heed its warning that Russia may be planning to attack an occupied nuclear power plant to cause a radiation disaster. Now, I don't want to get much deep into this. I'm just going to read one more line. So here, member of his government briefly international representatives on Thursday on the possible threat to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Now the thing is, the conflict is occurring in this area, and I may be mispronouncing this name terribly. Zaporizhzhia, if I'm mispronouncing, please correct me in the comments below. But the issue is, beyond the pronunciation of this, is the fact that there's many ways in which this war can go nuclear. From the moment that I have heard of the conflict on the area of Zaporizhzhia, Zaporizhzhia is the largest nuclear plant in Europe, and the dam that got damaged, I have a video about that on top. That dam held water that was supposed to cool this plant. So this power plant is at risk. Now, I could be wrong. If I was any leader of any country and I was at war, and there's a possibility that that war conflict or that fight for territory would cause a disaster 3 or 4 times, some people talk about 5 times the size of Chernobyl disaster, I would halt that war. Because there are few ways in which this can go down. This is not a boxing match. This is not a place where your opponent loses and he's gonna come and shake your hands. If the West continues to help Ukraine, and this is my view, feel free to disagree, but if the West continues to help Ukraine, there are many ways in which this can go down. Vladimir Putin knows that if he throws a missile, a nuclear missile into Ukraine, there will be retaliation. However, if accidentally a nuclear plant on Ukraine region has a disaster and radiation goes and contaminated the area, I would say it would be very hard for the West to retaliate or attack Vladimir Putin under the pretext of an accident. I think this war is by far the closest we have ever come, at least within my lifetime, into a possible nuclear disaster. So this is my view, and my question to you is, what are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comments below, and please do subscribe to the channel because I'll be making a video and expanding more on this idea. So as I was saying, as a leader of a country, I would have to choose between reconquering some territory, push my counteroffensive, or let that go for the sake of not having a nuclear disaster. I would have chosen give up the war in the chance of a nuclear disaster. And I know that sounds bad. However, as a political leader, I don't think we always have the ideal possibilities before us. Most of the decisions of those in charge and those who are leaders of a country are choosing between the least damaging of the two options or the least worst option. So that's my view. And with this, I wrap up this video. Now my questions are to you. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's worth to fight for the territory under the risk of a possible Chernobyl 3 times Chernobyl? Please let me know in the comments below. And also please do subscribe, like, and click the notification bell because I'll be making a video expanding more about this idea of the nuclear threat or the nuclear disaster threat that this conflict brings. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.